Hi, everybody. I hope you are safe and healthy and your families are doing well. And I hope you're ready for part two of this activity we're doing with personal narratives. Let's figure out what we need to do today and tomorrow. So now that you've read your text and responded to it, and if you haven't done that, make sure you've done it, you are going to be creating a visual that represents it. So here's what we're going to do. After you've reflected a little bit, choose an image. It could be an image directly from the text or an image you're creating yourself. So in Oscar's response yesterday, he ended it with, at the end of the story, I like how she is compared to a broken plate, and I feel that is a good metaphor. So Oscar might choose to use an actual literal image of a broken plate in his poster. For some of you, it might not be so obvious, or it might be a combination of different images that you want to use. So you'll take an image and you'll start your visual with that. So this is meant to be a poster, not a paragraph. So please make sure that you center this image on the images that you've chosen. So you'll have the name of the text as a part of your image and a name of the character. You'll have a large representative image or series of images. For example, the TED Talk one might have like a super soaker and a hoodie, or you could combine it to be a super soaker behind or in front of the image of a hoodie. And you could use the mood of the piece to help you too. So you could have a quote or two that define the piece. So you could have part of a quote or a full quote. And you'll have one small piece of reflection on how did the character change or what factors were influencing their identity in the piece. So that would be small and short, and just include it to make sure that we have the whole point of how the piece presents an identity. You'll be sharing it right here on this Google slide presentation. You'll be adding your image here. You can choose to do it as a Google drawing. There's a template on Google Classroom, or you can draw it yourself on any means that you want. If you do visual sketches on an iPad, if you want to have a piece of paper, if you want to paint it using acrylics and then bring it into a computer and edit it, you can. Just don't go nuts on it to the point where you are getting frustrated and that you feel like it has to be perfect. It does not have to be perfect. It just has to do the objectives. And then you'll post it today and tomorrow. And on Friday, we're going to go through this presentation as a group and reflect on the different images that we've shared from our classmates. Here's what people have done in the past. Now, this one right here is from the story 11, and it is really, really visual, but it doesn't have like the quotes on it. And then this one is from How to Raise a Black Son in America, where it is really, really text heavy and the visual is kind of small. What you're trying to do is create something that's in between both of these. So if you want to go really creatively visual, make sure you leave yourself room to do some of the other things with it. And if you want to be really text heavy, just make sure that the visual is a little more prominent than what you're seeing here. Both of these are good examples, but I think you could each do a little bit of a blend of these two to make your own. That's why I didn't want to choose like the perfect example. I don't want you to think you have to copy one way of seeing things. So let's take a look at where you're going to be putting it. If you notice on the bottom of this one, it has Weston's name, and Weston, what you would do is just click on this and delete it, and then put your image there, just insert it. So Oscar's next, and after Oscar we would have Grayson, and going into Neve and Ethan. So you each have your own slide. If you're working together, so for example, if Oli is working with Kara, you could delete Kara's slide and then just add Kara's name to Oli's slide and make it a group thing, but you don't have to do that. Just do that. When you are finished, you're turning it in. That's awesome. It just has to be done by Thursday night so that we can look at it on Friday morning. Any questions, as always, ask me on Discord, on Classroom, or through email, and I would love to help you. Let's get creative with this. Thanks.